Mr. Burns arrived at the counseling office with his secretary, but he was determined to keep his sessions discreet. He had no intention of letting anyone discover he was seeking psychological help, so he slipped inside quietly. The elderly therapist took one look at him and declared his case hopeless. He advised Burns to simply give up on treatment. "After 70 years of this, you're just going to quit now," the old man sighed. "This isn't about treatment, it's your core nature. And you will never, ever have one of these." "You mean a cheap plastic block with an ugly person's picture?" Burns retorted. The therapist said firmly, "That is a family. It's the people who love you." "You're right," Burns replied, a cold smile forming. "I'll consider locking people inside plastic boxes. That way, I can always see the fear on their faces." "Session over. Get out," the old man snapped. The moment Burns stepped outside, he heard a crash from inside the office. He swung the door open to find the therapist collapsed on the floor. Later, a funeral was held. The Simpsons attended, having often sought the therapist's guidance for their own family issues. True to form, the family immediately started bickering. In the midst of the chaos, little Maggie spoke her first words, but nobody heard her. Maggie talked. No one listened. Maggie never talked again. Nearby, another couple was locked in a heated argument. Burns approached the old man's casket and announced he would cover the funeral expenses as a small gesture. The mourners began praising his generosity until they witnessed what he did next. Enraged, the crowd picked up stones and hurled them at the couple, who barely managed to escape. Burns thought to himself, well, that was a close call. Almost got scared at a funeral. Meanwhile, Professor Burns was basking in the glory of receiving the Nobel Prize in Physics. His dream was shattered, literally, when his secretary's car suddenly plowed into him. How could a sane person not move out of the way of an oncoming car? Burns wondered aloud. Maybe it was because he was wearing a helmet, his secretary offered. Intrigued by the helmet, Burns followed the professor into the ambulance. His secretary handled the formalities. From the professor's delirious muttering, Burns learned it was a device for experiencing virtual worlds. Overcome with curiosity, Burns put it on. Inside the simulation, he took over the professor's Nobel fantasy and instantly fell in love with the experience. He demanded they stop the ambulance immediately, and his secretary arranged payment. In the virtual world, Burns found himself on the moon. He flipped a switch, and a laser cannon emerged, obliterating a planet with a single blast. Not bad. What's next? His secretary explained. It's new technology. So far, it's mostly adult content. An adult content roller coaster, adult content Burger King ads, and this one, Dragon Clan adult content. It's incredibly dull. Your therapist's final wish was for you to have a family, the secretary reminded him. Maybe we could program a virtual one for you. Burns liked the idea. Start programming. In the meantime, let me rewatch that scene of me shooting a lion in Africa. Sir, the secretary said quietly, that actually happened. Burns leaned back, marveling at his own thrilling life.